everybody. My name's Rebecca Hyatt, and I come to you from River Life Family Worship Center. And this is Jeff Comstock, and share with us your testimony.
I will do that. I was born a poor black child. I was born right in the middle of a family of 13. We was poor, you might say. We were so poor I couldn't even pay attention. So I grew up pretty stupid. I was dumb in the ways of the world. But when I was 6 years old, I had a vision. I was in a library. I couldn't read, and I couldn't afford the school lunches. And so I asked the teacher if I could just stay in the classroom and not take lunch. And she said, no, we can't do that. There's nobody to watch you. But we had a substitute toward the end of the year, and that substitute saw the teasing I was taking at recess, and she found out that the librarian doesn't take lunch. And so she arranged for me to just sit in the library rather than go to the lunchroom. And I thought that was the best day of my life, man. I always wondered what that chicken tastes like, and oh man, them taters sure look good, but I couldn't afford the lunch ticket, so you didn't eat that way. They didn't have programs to furnish poor kids with food, so I just sit there and suffered, and then the teasing I'd get at recess was far worse than not being able to afford the meals. But I had a vision while I was in that library. God showed me a picture, probably in a National Geographic, of little children, little African children with swelled bellies and flies crawling in their eyes, and God, I want to help these children. I mean, God put a word in me. I want to help these children, and I didn't know it, but God was showing me what my destiny was. He wanted me to go feed these children. I couldn't afford a lunch myself, but God was going to use me. So I grew up, and then we moved to La Villa in 1966, and we was doing a program at a school, or a Christmas program, and they was making fun of me in the church. The same teasing that was in the school now bled over into the church. I used to love to go to church, but I hated school. But that program right there, they started teasing me like they did in school, but then the teacher added a few insults of her own, and it broke my heart. And I got mad at God for what the church did to me, and I told God I'm never setting foot in his church again, ever. And he didn't stop me. He opened the door and said, see ya. See, because God knows the beginning and he knows the end of everything. He knew exactly what it would take for me to come to my destiny. And so as I grew up, I chased everything in the world, and I got it. I got all kinds of junk that I've accumulated, but nothing filled that void. And so then my son got into trouble, and they took him away from me. And so they put him in a detention center, and all we got to see was my son 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday, and a 10-minute phone call on a Wednesday night. And all I wanted was my boy back. God knows exactly what to take to get your attention, what it will take to get your attention. He took my son away from me, and now he had me right where he wanted me. I would either hate God forever, or else I'd come closer to him, draw close to him. And I actually draw close to him. My son said, Dad, I'll go to church on Saturday nights. You want to come and go to church with me? I said, not on your life. I hate church. Wait a minute. That's another hour I get to spend with my son. I said, sure, I'll go sit in a church with you for an hour just to sit close to my son and just have that bonding with my son. And so I went up there in the back row of that detention center, and I sit there that first night, and I watched all those boys coming through there, the dregs of society. Nobody wanted them, man. You could just feel their brokenness. And I said, God, I want to help these boys. God took my son away from me to set me in a place where nobody wanted these boys. And man, he just stirred something inside me that I wanted to help them. I wanted to let them know that there is somebody that loves them, and his name is Jesus. But I didn't know Jesus myself until the blind man was speaking a story out of the book of Genesis about a guy named Joseph. And Joseph's story lines up perfectly parallel to my son's story. God knows exactly what word it will take to get your attention, and he had my attention. So at 6:23 p.m. on November 9th of 2002, this blind man said, does anybody want to know this Jesus? I do! And I accepted the Lord Jesus Christ into my heart, from that day forward, I didn't look back. I didn't care for anything in my past. I just wanted to press on for more of Him, that desire. And so I got involved with missions, and a lady from Newton, a church in Newton, she asked me to go on a mission trip, and I said, yeah, I want to go. Brand new Christian, man. I want to go. And so the date came for us to go, and I backed out. I chickened out. And I thought, God, I don't know why I did that. But He had 2 months later, He had given me a second chance. That same team was going to go back down there, and I got in the van this time, and I went. And wow. God has taken me from Mexico to Nicaragua to the Philippines. But every one of those is a training. Every one of them is planting into you more and more trust in God and less trust in man or yourself. Because when you can trust God, you can do all things. All things are possible. And so He was taking me these stepping stones on my way to my destiny. Africa, Uganda. That was the picture that I seen when I was in Uganda on my second trip. We was back in the jungle. We was very lost. We was bending banana plantation out of the way just to squeeze the car through, and we was lost. And I said, Pastor, do you know where we're at? He said, not really. I said, great. And we finally got to a road, and we started down this road, and here comes a little boy. And right after I asked the question, God, what on earth am I here for? And a little boy wearing a red shirt with white letters that said, I found my calling. Amen. And I said, wow, God, thank you. And we turned another corner, and there was a village, and there was the same picture that I seen in that National Geographic. Identical picture, the same boy, the same fly crawling in his eye, and the same swelled belly. And I said, God, you brought me to my destiny.
All right, well, we'll see you guys later. Thanks
All
for
right.
joining us. Can't wait to see you next week. Talk to you later.
God bless you. One of these days, I'm going to quit breathing down here. Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Amen. Right on.
Amen.
That's like Star Trek, isn't it?
Amen.